Is astrology a guide to aid us in mastering the universe? This is the Cosmic Community Podcast with Galactic Ambassador Stacey Dredd. Hey everyone, thanks for being tuned in to KPOV 88.9 FM, your high desert community radio in Bend, Oregon. I hope you're having a good day. This is Stacey Dredd, Galactic Ambassador in the Cosmic Community, KPOV's one and only astrology program every Tuesday, 4:30 to 5 p.m., where we discuss the week's planetary and lunar influences, how these energies may be felt, how we may be able to work within these cycles to create a more benevolent life for all. So thank you so much for making time and space in your day today to receive this message. And the archive for this program can be found at kpov.org/the cosmic community. That is up for the whole week after the program, so you can always find the archive show there. So we've got a big full moon week ahead of us. I come in today from the west coast of the United States. I'm going to be using Pacific times here, and I'm coming in on September 6th. We are just coming off of a couple of big energies that are going to be sticking with us for definitely the week to come and on. So on Monday, September 5th, we had Venus, the personal planet that represents love, represents trust, represents money. Venus is the feminine character when it comes to the caricatures of what these planets represent. The Venus is the feminine representative, and so she has moved into Virgo as of September 5th. Virgo is a very interesting energy. It carries with it the beautiful virgin maiden energy. So it's very much about the Vestal Virgin and making yourself clean and clear, to make yourself available to serve the higher good there. And so Virgo is definitely a perfectionist energy. It helps us to focus in on the details that we need to also make plans. Virgo is a well planned out energy, and so we can really dive into our to-do lists. We can really do some of these cleaning, this cleaning and this cleansing of ourself and of our own personal space. Virgo is about making your body a temple for that greater good, those greater energies to be working through. So we will be working with this Venus in Virgo energy as we move along. Venus typically spends a couple of months to sometimes just a few weeks in a sign. Doesn't travel as quickly as Mercury, but is definitely the next quickest moving planet. Also, on September 5th, we had the start of a beautiful Earth trine. And so Virgo is an earth energy. We just discussed a few of those qualities that are really represented by that Virgo energy. And it's an earth sign. As I said, there are 3 earth signs. You've got Virgo, Taurus, and Capricorn. And we had this really nice earth trine that perfected yesterday on September 5th. And this energy will be felt the remainder of the week as we opened up with it. So when we have grand trine in the earth signs, in any of the signs, it's a really slippery energy. It's a really easy energy to work with. It makes things move quickly. And so if you're working on some projects, that are requiring a little extra grounding, maybe even some of these projects, including the ground, maybe you're working on getting the garden going, or really communicating, with what the soil needs, because the earth and the soil and the nutrients that we receive and the root structures are represented by these earth signs. And so these are also the roots that we grow, the roots that we put down in certain places of our life, in certain places in general, and also this grand earth trine is just a really perfect way to get into some earth energy and get grounded. We all know that the fall becomes a very busy time. I mean, the summer is like basically over once September starts, but really we've got 3 weeks, a little more than 2 weeks left of summer. And so we need to be getting out and using this time to take our shoes off and be feeling into the earth and really growing our roots and tapping in there. So that's a really beautiful energy we're gonna be working with for the rest of the week. We have the moon going to be on the 6th. We've got entering the night of the 6th into Aquarius. The moon definitely sets our mood. Moon sets our mood. And so for the general kind of daily moods, we can look at where the moon is. And so on Tuesday, Wednesday, we've got pretty solid Aquarius moon energy. And Aquarius is the sign of freedom. Aquarius wants freedom. Aquarius wants to be an individual and wants to set themselves aside from everybody else based on their attributes, and really celebrate that, and really celebrate the individualities that we have that make us the individual people that we are. And so the moon moving through Aquarius, Tuesday, Wednesday, we might feel a certain extra push of freedom. We need a little extra space. We need a little extra time to ourselves, maybe for some of these grounding activities that we were just talking about. Some quiet space, some time actually set aside just for you. Time when you know that you will not be interrupted. Right? Because those are the times when we can really let our minds go and let our intuition start to lead the way and bring some of these messages up from the deep depths of our soul, of our intuition, of our spirit. And this leads us right into Friday, September 9th. The moon enters Pisces, and the full moon on Saturday is the full moon in Pisces. So once the moon hits, this is late in the evening on Thursday, early morning on Friday. So we all wake up to the moon in Pisces on Friday. Pisces is a spiritual, intuitive sign. This is where we can really, really tap in to spirit, to source, to the inner places of our soul, to wherever it is that you believe that these benevolent things come from, these manifestations in our life. What is it that you work with to manifest in your life, and really find those things really powerfully highlighted during a Pisces moon. So this is going to be an extra sensitive. Another attribute of Pisces is the sensitivity. This is going to be a moment of sensitivity on Friday, Saturday, into the morning times. This is basically Friday and all day on Saturday. This Pisces moon energy is going to come in strong. Pisces is a water sign. And so it can come in like an ocean, like a tsunami sometimes. The whole realm of the spiritual ocean is also represented by Pisces. So that subconscious place that we go to tap in to that greater knowledge. And so with this Pisces energy, this very much going to be a sensitive weekend. You could see yourself and people around you, animals, really feeling the full moon energy. And with it being in Pisces, we're really working with these higher notions of, what am I here to complete? What am I here in this life to complete? Because Pisces is the 12th sign of the zodiac, and Pisces represents completion in our lives. It's a place that we get to, that we realize, hey, I've come a long ways since the new moon in Pisces 6 months ago, and I can really look back on this last 6-month cycle as I really came from point A to point B. And if you haven't thought about what happened 6 months ago, maybe it's time to check back in, and see where we can make some changes and make some tweaks so that we can still be pushing towards our life goals. Stacy Dredd, Galactic Ambassador in the cosmic community. 444444444s all over my clocks. Oh, and a 420 when I looked up. Nice. So the whole week, energetically is truly building up to Saturday, September 10th. This is the full moon in Pisces. I'm talking a little bit about Pisces energy here, but back in what was that, April, there was a conjunction of Jupiter and Neptune in the sign of Pisces. This was a once in a lifetime moment where we had the conjunction of these two planets that they rule in their home sign, and that conjunction won't happen again in our lifetimes. And so we were able to, back in April, tap into this Pisces energy really strongly. I basically talked about Pisces energy for 2 months leading up to that. So if you want to dive in a little bit deeper to where the Pisces energy has been this year in particular, and you want to go back and check into 6 months ago, you can go back on the Cosmic Community shows, either on my Mixcloud account, or I switched over to YouTube and stop doing the Mixcloud, but it's all out there. Just search the Cosmic Community and go back to April, go back to that conjunction that was major in Pisces, and see what it was going on for you around that time, because this is part of the larger cycle. We are given an opportunity at these once in a lifetime moments to get a message. What is it? Where am I headed? Where am I coming from? And where should I go? And so it's really neat. If you have a planner, go back to 6 months ago, in March and then in April, and see what was coming up for you, because these themes are absolutely going to be on the cream of the cake of this full moon on Saturday, September 10th. Oh boy. Definitely take it easy. This is a foggy, confusing one. There's been a lot of stuff, soot, sludge that has been churned up in this area of the chart. So if you don't know how these energies affect you personally, you can access an astrological birth chart that is unique to you, and you can see where the planets were at the moment of your birth, and go into this Pisces area of your birth chart and see what is there, which house is represented right there, and you can actually see the area of your life that this full moon is going to be affecting. So if you look at your Pisces area of life, we are, let's see, I'm trying to get you an actual, it's at 17, almost 18 degrees of Pisces, and the sun in Virgo at 18 degrees of Virgo. So that's where these points are. Full moons are very expressive. That is absolutely what the full moons are characterized by, expression. And people find one way or another to show the way that they feel and express themselves. And so this Virgo Pisces axis is all about a cleansing of the personal space and a clearing of the spiritual space, and literally moving from that 12th sign, the 6th sign, into the 1st and the 7th signs, which the 1st sign, of the zodiac is that rebirth, right? And the 7th sign is the first non-personal sign of the chart. It's the place, Libra, finally we reach, the 7th house. It's after the 6th house because we must master the 6th house before we move into the 7th house. It's all in a cyclical pattern because it all builds on top of itself. So we're coming from a really, really sensitive spot where our bodies are a temple, and we are no longer going to be spending time and energy in places that aren't serving our greater good, that aren't feeling like it's energetically serving us, right? Exactly what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about in terms of what's going on with you, but I know that these energies are out there. I know that I can feel it for myself, and I know that I can see it in everybody around me. It's also a big retrograde time. We have, let's see, I'll just start on the list. Uranus, Chiron, Jupiter, Neptune, Saturn, Pluto in retrograde. And then we also have Mercury diving into the underworld with these other heavyweights on Friday of this week. So here we are back talking about another Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde gets the worst rap in astrology. It really does. But, it's because it's the most felt. Mercury moves the quickest around the solar system, so it's making the most aspects and moving the quickest. And so we have 3 to 4 Mercury retrogrades a year. So just know that you've gotten through 2 other retrogrades or 1 or 2 other retrogrades this year, and you'll get through this one and the next ones. So take a deep breath and make sure to just pack a few extra things in your bag, like some extra drinking water and a couple extra little amenities and snacks, just in case things take a little longer than expected. Give yourself, an extra bit of time to basically do everything during the next 3 weeks during Mercury retrograde. You can expect that things are just going to be slowed down a little bit. This includes travel in a vehicle. This includes getting from point A to point B. It can just seem to be a little circular sometimes. Like I went in like 3 circles before I could actually make it to point B. That's definitely Mercury retrograde. And also, this is when our mind may slow down. Mercury represents our mind. So we may actually feel like, hey, why can't I remember something? Or why did I had it right there on the tip of my tongue and I just lost it again. Well, that's just life, but it's also just Mercury retrograde. So another thing to be aware of during Mercury retrograde and during retrograde moments in general, like we are feeling, especially with the big full moon coming up this weekend, where we may feel like doing something crazy, but we may want to be more careful than that. We need to be very careful of making quick decisions, not thinking things out and acting before thinking. This could definitely cause some problems. Things are a little muddier than usual. during a Mercury retrograde. They're a little more confusing, and definitely during a Pisces full moon, everything is just like a little extra foggy, and we're trying to come to this clarity. So clarity will come. We cannot force it, right? We can wait and wait and wait for that clarity and know that it's going to happen, because we will get what we need right when we need it. And so there may be a lot of internal chat going on too. You may feel like all I can do right now is just like think. I just have a lot on my mind. But, you're not really trying to come to any conclusions and make any decisions right now. So contemplation is the name of the game. Internal chat, just let it chat. Just chat away. And you don't need to act on any of it. We don't need to, just because we think of something, do something, right? That would be really crazy if we acted on every thought that we ever had. And another thing to do during Mercury retrograde is to let the thoughts pass through. We've got strong Gemini energy. Gemini is ruled by the planet of Mercury. Also, Virgo is ruled by the planet of Mercury and is in its home sign. So Mercury is is going to be retrograding back into Virgo. As Mercury is stationing retrograde in Libra, and then going to be going back into Virgo on Friday, September 23rd. So we're going to be having another look at some of these Virgo themes. Some of these things we've been working on are going to be coming back around. We're going to be rethinking these just one more time as the Sun and Venus make a pass through the last half of Virgo at that time also. So, this is going to be happening for a while. We're going to talk our way through it even more next week. But, I would definitely say stay grounded during this full moon weekend that we have coming up. Another thing that you can do, like if there's a little bit of twitchy or nervous energy, or like you're feeling, I don't know, like you just can't focus on stuff, the kind of like that inability to focus, try and work with your hands. That is a very Gemini thing. Mars is in Gemini right now. So our physical body is like needing Gemini stuff, like being with other people and having, options, not one, but just two. Like I'd love to have an option here, like not one, but two. And also two hands, that we work with. Because when we work with our hands, it also relieves things in our heart chakra too. So we want to stay loose. We want to keep our hearts open. We want to stay curious. That's a very Mercury thing. It's all about research and development right now. We're not going to be jumping in and diving into anything too quickly over the next month or two, but we're going to sure be doing some research, and we're going to be for sure gathering a bunch of information about the next phases that we have coming up in our own lives. So I guess that's pretty much it for the week. This full moon could be really sensitive and irritable and a little raw. So just work with it, know that that's a really beautiful place to be coming from too. If we have some really raw place that we're coming from, we know that we really, really care about that thing that we're putting that energy into. So that's my report for the week. Looking ahead, next week's a little quiet. So use this full moon energy to really go into this Pisces intuition, Let's dive into the underworld and just see what messages we can bring back. And so I will be talking to you guys next week, 4:30 here in the Cosmic Community. I hope you have a good week. Peace. Thank you for listening to the Cosmic Community Podcast. More can be found at kpov.org/thecosmiccommunity.